Hello everybody. Apologies for the lack of a video last week. You get busy sometimes, so it is. Now, let's crack on with the beer. This is a bit of a worry, I'll be honest. Bergen beer. Premium Pils. Made in Romania. Now, never had Romanian beer before. It's 5% by volume. So, not only have I never had Romanian beer before, I've never seen any over here. And I'm not aware of Romania having any great culture or tradition of beer brewing. And you kind of think that if they were any good at it, we'd have heard about it by now. Now, Pils isn't my favourite style of beer, but a decent Pils can be quite pleasant. This one is very smelly. Smells musty. It's very pale yellow. Doesn't taste it much actually. In fact, I think the smell makes more of an impact than the flavour. Smells not entirely pleasant. The flavour's just cheap Pils with not much flavour at the front and just a malty finish. It's drinkable, but Bergen beer. Can't see me buying another one of them. So, lots to crack on with. First of all, an update on my new winter coat. If you remember, I showed it in a video recently, and basically what happened was it was miles too big. I read some labels in some clothes that I already possess, and based on that guessed that I needed an extra large, and this is what turned up. Absolutely swamped me. So I sent it back. This is to militaryfirst.co.uk, asking for a large instead. But I got an email saying they're out of stock with large. So I thought, well, before I see if I can find if anybody else has got it, I'll just check their sizing chart, because there was an instruction about measuring seam to seam. So I actually measured the coat that I have been wearing through the summer, and according to Military First sizing chart, I only needed a medium, which they did have in stock. So I placed another order, and it turned up, and this is the difference. So that one fits properly. It's a cracking coat, roasting hot with the fleece liner. Very good service from militaryfirst.co.uk. Very impressed with them. So I'm happy. Another update on recent purchase I showed you the jet beam flashlight that I bought, little torch, little AAA size. And straight after buying it, I had a recommendation for a Clarus, which I ended up buying. So I'd just like to show you that. Okay, so this is the little torch that I'd chosen for myself. The Jet Beam Jet 1 MK with a rechargeable lithium battery, a AAA. Well, it's a 14500 rechargeable lithium. It's got 480 lumens output, and it's a twisty head construction. And I only had this a week when there was a comment on a video from somebody who, I can't remember who it was, my apologies, but saying that they prefer the Clarus MI7. Now, I hadn't even looked at Clarus when I was searching for something like this, because previously, when I have seen them, they've always been very expensive. So I had a look, and bear in mind this was £17. I ended up buying an MI7. This was, I think, £32. So although it's almost twice as dear as the Jet Beam, it is still, I think, a good price for what you get. It's about the same size, a few millimetres longer, and the head may be half a millimetre narrower. There's not really much in it. Now, there's a lot of things about this I like. The main downside, it came with a pocket clip, and I was going to do a side-by-side test showing you how the Jet Beam pocket clip is much harder to twang. But the pocket clip on the Clarus has disappeared. I think I know what happened. I was in the shop. This was clipped in my pocket. It was getting in the way, trying to get my wallet out. So I quickly yanked the torch out and shoved it down under my wallet, and I think that's when the clip pinged off. So if a strong pocket clip is vital for you, you might need to think twice about this one. But the things I prefer, it's a button operation, it's not a twisty head. I'm not fond of twisty head torches, so to find a button operation in this size is really good. Again, it's a 14500, but rather than the 480 lumens with the Jet 1, you get 700, and it is noticeably brighter. Comes in a see-through plastic box like this, and in the bottom there's a little cardboard box with a wrist loop and a spare O-ring and the instruction leaflet. More functions on this. It's got a lockout, so I've been carrying this loose at the bottom of my pocket under the wallet, and with it in lockout mode, it's not turned on accidentally at all. So 3 rapid clicks and it comes on. Now, it's signalled coming out of lockout mode there with 2 flashes. And I'm quoting these figures from memory, the battery capacity is above 70%, it gives you 3 flashes. If it's between 30 and 70, it gives you 2 flashes, and if it's below 30% capacity, it gives you 1 flash. So you've got a battery indicator. With 1 long press, we go into moonlight mode. I can't think what's the next function. Yes, 2 clicks and we're into strobe. Another 2 clicks and it's SOS. It has a memory such that whatever setting you were in when you turned it off, that's what it goes back to. So high, medium and off. It doesn't cycle through moonlight, you access that with the 1 long press. So when we go back, we're in high again, 700 lumens. Hold it for 5 seconds and it flashes and goes into lockout mode again. Small difference, but I think significant for me. The jet beam has a deep, smooth reflector, and the Clarus has a slightly shallower orange peel reflector, which means you get a softer spread of light. You don't get quite so much definition between the hotspot and the spread. So that, barring the pocket clip not being very strong, I think is an excellent torch for the price. And that is now what I carry in my pocket every day. 32 quid, well spent. And for the main part of the video, got a knife review. This is one of the many knives that's been sent to me very kindly by John in Alaska, 40 below full. He sent me a lot of stuff over the years, as John. Very grateful, very kind. And this is one of them. So if you join me at the desktop, and we'll have a closer look. Okay, so this is how the knife comes. In a fairly standard brown Rough Rider box. Strike It Rich is the style, and it's a Rough Rider 1520 is the model. Now, there are some problems with this knife, and I don't like to sound ungrateful because I'm not. It was a very kind gift. It's one of many that John from Alaska has sent to me very, very generously. But if I'm going to review the knife, I need to be honest about it. And there's another reason as well that I'm going to go in a bit hard on this one, and I'll explain that shortly. So let's get into it. What we've got is a Barlow knife, a sparkly Barlow knife. And the theme for this design is the Gold Rush. So what we've got is a fairly standard chassis. It's a 2-blade Barlow with the typical extended bolster, separate back springs, brass liners, brass centre spacer. The main blade is a clip point, and the small blade is a pen blade. So other than the aesthetics, it's all very standard. No half stops on this one. We've got the gold theme is basically acrylic scales with what appears to be flakes of gold leaf. Now, I don't know enough to say whether that's actually gold or not. It does look like gold leaf to me, and I don't think the amount of gold leaf used here, if it is real, it wouldn't be very expensive. It's probably only sweepings anyway from doing something else. So very sparkly, very attractive. We've got on the blades some etching. On this side, Strike It Rich and some hills. And then on the big blade, gold. Pan it, dig it, find it. So, we'll just check the specs. As I say, it is a... bashing the camera all over the place. It's a fairly standard Barlow. So the handle length is 3 1/4, about 82-83 millimeters. The main blade is 2 3/8, about 60 mil. Cutting edge of just over 2 1/4 inches, about 53-54. So the size comparison that we usually do is with the Spartan from Victorinox. So as you can see, it's a bit shorter, but it's similar chunkiness, we shall say. You see how the thickness of the handles compares. Let's just whack it on the scales. So this is UK legal to carry. The blade's noticeably under 3 inches and it's a slip joint, and it weighs 79.3 grams, which in English 2.8 ounces, 2 4/5, we shall say. So, lovely little thing, but I did start this video off saying that I need to be honest about some of the problems with it. So let's have a look. First thing is the main blade is well off centre, rubbing against the centre spacer. The edge, I'm not sure about the edge. I don't know whether this has had any use or whether this is the factory edge. But the grinds aren't even and the tip is bent over. Now whether that's burr from a bad grind or whether that's actually just been dropped, I don't know. I suspect it's burr from a bad grind. But as I say, I don't know whether that's the factory edge or not. So that could just have had a bit of hard life. One thing I did notice, in the tang on the main blade there is a big crack. Now it might not come across very well on camera now, but you will be able to see it in the close-ups at the end. Let's get back in focus. One of the bolsters doesn't fit very well. There's a big gap between the brass and the bolster. All around this edge, and you can see light and you can get your fingernail in the end there. It's a bit gappy in other places, but nothing as severe as that. So, why am I mentioning particularly all these problems? Well, you might want to buy one, and indeed I have bought one. I bought one quite a while ago. If I can find it. So this is my one that I purchased, and some of the problems with this one are present in here, and to a degree that makes sense, because if these have come off the same production line and it's badly set up, you're going to replicate errors. So the gap around the bolster there, between the bolster and the brass, is present on mine, although it's on the other bolster, it's on the plain bolster. The crack in the tang is there, which is a bit of a worry. Although the blade centering on the one I paid for is spot on. The grind is similar on both sides, not identical, but it's not too bad. Other little things, like, if we can find it, on the tang there, where we've got the model RR1520 in China, that bit of etching is well off centre, so it's almost tipping over the edge down to the plunge line, which is unfortunate. It doesn't make a massive difference. So I'm a big fan of Rough Riders, and I've got quite a few that are absolutely perfect, but you can still get flawed models, and I think given the similarities in some of the problems between the one I bought and the one that John very kindly sent me, I think this, certainly the gold flaky one, does have concerns if you're thinking of buying it. So the other thing that I was mentioned about why I was picking out the flaws particularly is that my one, which is slightly better in the fit and finish, I'm going to give it away. So I'm keeping the one that John sent me as a gift, And the one that I paid for a few months ago, I'm going to give away to a random winner. I'm also giving away the jet beam. Now there won't be a battery in this. In fact, I'll take it out now before I forget, because the rules for posting batteries, particularly lithium batteries, are a bit of a pain, and I really can't be arsed having another argument with the rancid old harridan at the post office. So there we go. I'm giving these away. Just leave a comment below that contains the words "I'm in," and I'll draw that randomly when the mood takes me. So thanks very much for watching. We'll go into the usual slideshow for the Strike It Rich Barlow. And as I say, this is the one that I paid for. And I'm keeping the one that John sent me as a very kind gift. So have a look at the close-ups, see what you think.